All right. So I guess I'll start off by kind of going over what happened. So first we met on February 19th. Market was closed due to holiday. And so we just used the closing prices from the following Friday or the previous Friday. Basically, we went and bought Apple, J&J, Exxon, Procter and Gamble, Bank of America, Tesla, Pfizer, and Amazon. And then we went back on February 22nd and met again. We made a couple purchases, a couple sales. Um, and then on February 23rd, we made our final review and sold our stocks. We ended up having a total of $1,097.36. So a little bit of a change there. Um, okay, so as far as answering the questions, question one kind of go over our involvement with this group different from other groups. So basically, the differences from previous groups was this was like a real world focus. It was investing in the stock market, which was a real thing rather than doing homework or working on assignments. It's a collaborative decision, which is different than previous because that would be like directive approaches where we were given a problem and we had to solve it a certain way, and there was a really high engagement in this because we were dealing with money. It was an interesting topic, and it overall was pretty engaging. All right. So, did I consider this a team or a group? I would consider it a team for sure because we had a shared goal, which was just to make money. We were interdependent. We had decisions based on collective analysis. So we each kind of took up our own section and we learned about it, we studied it, and then we came together and we tied it together to make really an overall team effort. And then what specific roles were assigned to members and how did this affect interaction and performance? So the overall roles were kind of group leader who was a coordinator and set the agendas. We had a market analyst who researched stocks and market trends. We had a financial analyst who kind of checked on the financial health. We had a communications officer who documented and did internal communication. And the impact of these roles, they streamlined decision making. They allowed for roles to make a lot more efficient progress. They by dividing everything up, everyone was able to work on their own subject, figure it out, and then we came together at the end to make the best decision based on us all having clear heads about our own subject. And then question two, what roles did individuals play? Okay, so there was a group leader, the market analyst, the financial analyst, and the communications officer. I kind of already went over that. What roles did you assume? I assumed the role of the financial analyst. I evaluated financial health and I did performance metrics of potential and current investments. Everyone else, uh, oh, I guess I don't have to talk about everyone else. So, did the interaction change as certain people were asked to be the observer? So, I would say so. It was pretty interesting being the observer, just because you couldn't say anything, and everyone had to make decisions without you, and you just kind of sat there and watched, which was a little interesting. But it was, um, it was what did it as? Yes, I would say it did change. Everyone kind of had their own way of talking and making a point. And so when that person was just observing and they weren't able to talk, it did change the way we all interacted. Let's see. Did you notice any of the interactual or let's see, interactual roles emerge? Yeah, so um one emergence I saw was by Jalen. He kind of turned into a really good mediator uh during directionless or circling conversations. He was really able to pull everyone back together, correct the course of where we were kind of heading with stuff, and brought us back to what we really need to be kind of covering. And then, how did we deal with this person? It was really just a positive thing. He really helped us a lot. Kind of if we ever got off task or anything like that, it helped us a lot. So we really didn't deal with him. He kind of dealt with us. Okay, that was question 2. Question 3. Okay, what norms emerged from the group? Which of these formal norms? Okay, so the norms that emerged were some formal norms, some formal norms, some informal norms. The couple of the formal ones were we scheduled meeting times. That was formal. We had an agenda set for meetings, and we had protocols for decision making, basically, where we would have to before we made a decision, we would have to hit a couple of benchmarks or a couple of standards that we set. And then a couple of informal norms that we had were open sharing of opinions. Everyone was able to freely speak their mind. We were all supportive. And after the meeting ended, we had informal discussions. We kind of just talked about whatever, talked about school. And so that was informal. Um, let's see. As far as attendance changes, everyone was pretty on time. There was high engagement, and we had fun over the course of this project. It was pretty engaging, and honestly had a good time doing it. It was interesting, kind of just seeing what stocks were like and how they moved. Occasionally after our meeting times, people would stay late and kind of chat with each other just based on normal talking stuff, not but just not about the assignment. And then as far as meeting dynamics, start of each meeting, we reviewed the prices from the previous day and then started market analysis of current prices. And then let's see. And then how did the meeting start? Meeting started kind of, oh, I just went over that. Sorry. What happened the day of the group leader? When the group leader was the observer, we all kind of just took our roles upon us. It wasn't super different. We were all able to kind of stay at the same pace that we were at before. And then was it successful? I say it was. We did make a small profit. It wasn't huge, but it was a learning experience for sure. Um, Power status and power distributed within the group. What members had of the group had status? So okay, so as far as status and power distribution, it was based on contribution and knowledge. I would say in particular, Noah set himself apart by doing a lot of the research. This made his input very valuable, just because he knew a lot about it. And as far as power, I would say the group leader had a little bit more power, just formal power through the role of being the group leader. And then as far as power bases used, um, wait, what does it say? Identify individual members within the group. Did you have any power plays among group members? Okay, so yeah, occasional power plays were observed. Just when decisions were really kind of not clear, we didn't know what to do about something, and someone would step up and kind of propose an idea that seemed stronger than the rest, and then we'd kind of vote on it. And as long as it was unanimous, we would go through with that. Um, okay, so question 5: how did the interaction patterns change? How long has this been? I probably gotta speed this up. Okay, I'm gonna start going a little bit faster. I think taking too long. Okay, so as far as interaction and patterns change, initial versus final stages and stuff like that, early on, each member sought after roles and how they could help the team. And then later, it was a lot more structured, more roles were assigned, and responsibilities were just clearer overall. It was a lot more um, formal than it was at the beginning. And then as far as consistency of patterns, they changed as the project went on. We became a lot more efficient and kind of figured out how to do things. There wasn't any formations of clicks or anything, which had a positive impact. And then I would say we were adequate for sure. The team bonded very well and fast. No issues were present. We all did a good job, and nobody had issues with each other. We had a lot of open discussions. There's a lot of structured feedback, and Overall it was very well. And then we were definitely cohesive. Um, there's a lot of mutual support and agreement. Uh, we did, I mean, we had a day of 1% gain market, which was stable, and we celebrated that, kind of selling all stocks with we had a 0.097 gain, which is good, especially for not knowing much about what we're doing. And then the stages of group interaction, there was definitely the forming and the performing stages. We just kind of initially we came together. That was the forming, and then for performing, we set goals. We worked on them. We had task management, high cohesion, stuff like that. It worked well. And then as far as clarity of stages observation, I would say no clear stages were observed. The team formed, uh, and then we performed. We kind of just did what we had to do. Um, I didn't really notice any storming, norming, or adjourning. I just don't think we really needed it. Um, Maybe we're stuck a little bit in the forming stage, but I would say that's it. All right, question 7, almost done. What kind of agenda did the group follow? So I would say the agenda that we followed was we identified stocks that performed well. We bought the stocks, did the research later, and then there was no real agenda that was followed after that. Um, as far as the structure of the agenda, during the meeting times, we openly discussed a lot of the performance of the stocks. If a stock was negative, then we would sell the stock, or if a new stock was purchased, we would check how that was going. And then the success of the agenda, I would say it worked out well. We ended up positive. We didn't lose money, which is good. Um, I would just say in the future, the agenda needs some direction, which we didn't really have this time, but that would definitely help in the future. And then evaluating the overall success of your group, um, I would say that it was very effective. Given more time, I think we would have done better and created more profits. I would say I'm most pleased with our teamwork. We worked really well together and really had not many issues. What needed improvement? Perhaps we could have had clearer roles. And sometimes we kind of crisscrossed and worked in other areas that weren't exactly our assigned roles. So that could have been a little bit better. Maybe that could have been a little bit more strict. And then identify 2 things that you would change if you were to follow through with this assignment again. I would say changes for the project in the future would be the amount of money given. Um, allow for this would allow for higher risks and allow us to kind of learn more by having these higher risks. And then another thing would be a research phase would be beneficial because then our team could meet and understand a little bit more about what we're investing in. We didn't really have any solid idea of what we were investing in just because we didn't have time to research this and we didn't have any previous really knowledge of stocks. Okay. Well, I think that's it. I answered all the questions. Thank you for watching.